What's up, YouTube? My name is Jamin, and this is Not Too Casual. Now, if you've seen my face before, welcome back. But if you haven't, welcome as well. Either way, you are here for a reason. And what is that reason today? You want to know why the WNBA could be coming to an end. Finally. Before we get into it, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and leave your 2 cents in the comment section so we can have a conversation. Let's get into it, guys.
So people thought Angel Reese was insane last year when she said, yeah, CBA's coming up. We deserve more because I'm here. And if y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. What are you, crazy? Sit out and crush all the momentum from Caitlyn Clark? Well, guess what? Just this week, W players voted yes on a strike. Not on strike yet, but it's officially on the table. Oh, and this
Whoa. So as we know, guys, the WNBA is not profitable. It hasn't been profitable in 30 years since its inception. Now, imagine if you had a business and you didn't make money for 30 years. Could you even be open? Now, one thing that's commonly misunderstood is that because a company doesn't make money does not mean you don't pay your players. That just means nobody's making money. So that goes for the owners, league administration, things of that nature. Because payroll is part of your overhead. So you have to pay people to work for you, but no one's making money. And if you didn't know, the WNBA is subsidized by the NBA. So they've been averaging being at loss for about $10 million per year. No money is being made, which is absolutely ridiculous for any business model. And I don't understand how they've been going on for 30 years. So he may talk about this, but as you heard, he stated that the WNBA is talking about going on a strike. A strike? How? This comes after one of the most visible and profitable years of the WNBA, and now they want to go on strike. Absolutely insane and ridiculous. Let's keep listening to see what more insanity is going to be spewed from these WNBA players.
was 98% yes. You never see that kind of agreement from players, all on the same page. But if this happens, it could be the end of the WNBA as we know it. Because other leagues are popping up saying, hey, you don't like the W? Come play here. We'll pay you more. So Unrivaled, Project B, these leagues have already signed dozens of the top WNBA players to say, forget the old league. We tried and it failed. But how did this happen? Right when things are going good, it could die? Well, I'll tell you why it happened. Money. It's always money. Caitlyn Clark comes into the W, single-handedly lifts the league. For example, the average W game not involving Caitlyn got 394,000 viewers, but the average Caitlyn Clark game, 1.4 million. That is over a 200% increase for one player, but it affected the whole league. Like we all know, interest in the
Let me just talk about Caitlyn Clark real quick. CC, my girl CC. All right. Now, the hate and absolute disrespect that this woman receives is astonishing and absolutely detrimental to the growth of the WNBA. This woman is the Jordan of the WNBA. She has come in and made people actually want to watch it and is actively increasing WNBA salaries due to her attraction to the game, which is bringing forth more TV deals, which is the bulk of what sports leagues get their money from. Say, for example, the NBA. They have billions and billions of dollars of ad money and revenue from TV deals, and that money is distributed to NBA players' salaries. So, of course, there's ticket sales, there's merch sales, but they don't compare to what they're going to get in TV deals for it to be broadcast. And with that being said, the WNBA lacks in viewership, so there's not as many companies that want to pay for ads or or if there are as many, they don't want to pay as much because the viewership is not that high of any other leagues. Mainly the male league is what we're going to focus on because they always compare themselves to the male league, which is absolutely ridiculous. But let's go ahead and continue.
W as a whole is up. We experienced it. Look at the average finals ratings. Around 600K before Caitlyn Clark. But her rookie year, 1.6 million viewers, and she wasn't even involved. And right then, a new media rights deal was up. Perfect timing. They would get to cash in on this Caitlyn Clark popularity. So the W signed a $2.2 billion deal to show their game starting in 2026. They also expanded to add 6 teams, each paying up to $250 million to get in. So why not share the wealth? Players all mad wearing "pay us what you owe us" shirts at All-Star, but the owners say no. We floated this league for decades before Caitlyn Clark, and now you want to share the money? How about sharing all the debt all those years before?
Yeah,
oh no, you didn't want to do that, but now you want the money. But
exactly, that's crazy. That's crazy, and honestly, let's talk about the psychology behind this, and the lack of awareness. So, the league has been floated by these owners and by the NBA for decades, taking a loss. These people who own the company making no money, none. They just have a team. They're coming out of pocket and being subsidized by another league to have a team. And you get 1 year. You can have one good year, and now you want all the money. You want to cut. Like a quick history on the NBA, which was started in, I don't know, 30s, 40s, I don't know, 50s, somewhere around there. I'm sorry, I didn't look it up. I don't know the exact date, that exact year when the NBA was established. But these players, they came out. These people had second jobs. These guys had second jobs. I mean, they were plumbers. They worked at car washes. They worked wherever. Honestly. And I looked up stories. A lot of their wives was like, "Hey, stop doing that. You're gonna get hurt. You don't need to be doing that. Taking time away from the family. If you get hurt, we don't have insurance. The NBA was not giving insurance, not paying players, things of that nature. It took them decades before they even got paid. And then once they got paid, it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much. Even once they got TV deals, like these big contracts, they came in the 80s and 90s. Like 40, 50 years, 60, 70 years maybe after the NBA was actually established. It's been 30 years, ladies. Y'all got to crawl. Y'all got to crawl before you can walk. And what you're trying to do is get money that you don't deserve. Yeah, you don't deserve it. If you don't make a draw, an attraction of people to want to watch your league and watch you play, then you don't get paid. That's the basis of anything on TV, of any entertainment. People have to want to watch you. And the main people who need to be watching are the feminists out here. Why aren't feminists out here watching the WNBA? I saw a stat, and you can look it up. I don't have the exact numbers, but you can look it up. The majority of people who support the WNBA are middle-aged to older men and NBA players. There's more women than there are men on the earth. So imagine if women were as static as men are to watch sports. The WNBA will be rolling in dough. But women don't care about sports like that. They just don't. Facts. You probably don't even know the WNBA team in your city, the name. If you're a woman right now, name me 5 WNBA players in the next 10 seconds. You can't do it. Let's keep going.
This is the time of year that NBA players start to kind of slow down. New Year's, right before the All-Star break. But my favorite way to make every game feel like the NBA Finals is get some picks in on PrizePicks. Their app is real easy to use. I just pick more or less on a few players' stats, and a random game in December all of a sudden feels like the playoffs. So let me give you my 2 picks for tonight. First up is AJ Green, less on his points, and then Nikola Vucevic, more on his rebounds. And best of luck if you're telling those picks. PrizePicks now available in 45 states, including Texas, where I live, or California. And if it's your first time signing up, use promo code AMHoops.
Shout out Texas,
and if you do that, when you play just $5, you get $50 in lineups instantly, win or lose. It is my favorite way to watch games and have fun no matter what, win or lose. That is promo code AMHoops. Play 5, get $50 in lineups instantly. In fact, the NBA has kept the W afloat, costing about $10 million per year. But Clark's rookie year,
like I said,
the W lost more money than ever at $50 million. How is that possible? Because players wanted more, like private flights to games. So despite making more money than ever, they spent more money too. But at the same time,
that is the epitome of girl math right there. Make more money? Okay, so let's go ahead and spend more money. And then talk about how we not getting paid. Absolutely asinine. This has been the most lucrative year of the WNBA. But they also decided to spend the most money. So it also has been the most detrimental year of the WNBA. Make that shit make sense, ladies.
I can't understand where players are coming from. First off, private planes? Yeah, you can't have Caitlyn Clark on American Airlines with me. Well, me, yes, but some of you guys I'm not too sure about. It would be like in the NBA, a random fan being like, hey, Luka, can I get the aisle seat? Sorry, I have to pee a lot. It doesn't work. And the salary? Last year, the WNBA Supermax was $250K, average salary $120K, and the minimum just $66,000. But if they go on strike, those numbers go to 0. So they start negotiations last July. The league sent a proposal to the players, and we don't know what it said, but we do know the reaction. One player said, yeah, we got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face. Then MVP runner-up Nafisa Collier threw a grenade into negotiations. She claimed that the W commissioner said something unforgivable.
I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlyn, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlyn should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything.
What?
And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them.
What? I mean, it is one thing to negotiate with someone that you disagree with, but to negotiate with someone you hate is 100 times more difficult. But now, some people say this cannot be fixed because what the players really want here is revenue share, which is exactly what NBA players have. See, those players split all basketball-related income with the owners 50-50, which means if the league does better financially, the players do better financially. And the W players see this awesome trajectory of their league and they want to ride that wave.
Right. So let me just say this real quick. Ladies, stop comparing yourself to men. Full stop. You have to stop that. You're not men. You're not as tall as men. You're not as strong as men. Men have more muscle mass, larger lung capacity, more endurance, more fast twitch muscle fibers. So the thing about sports is that we gather around to watch sports because we want to see the pinnacle of human performance. That's what men offer. Just speaking objectively, I should say. Yes, women's sports can be entertaining, but women's sports are not the pinnacle of human performance. Prime example, I watch sports because I like to see other men do things that I know is really difficult to do because I've played sports before. So I know what it takes and like what you have to be able to perform on such levels. Now, when I watch women's sports, I mean, if I watch women's sports, but I look at it just for like pure competitiveness. That's what I look for, I guess, because I don't look for a pinnacle of human performance, because you'll never, like, women will never be able to be that. It's just not biology. You know, you can pump as much steroids as you want. You can think and will your way through and then think that you are, but you're not. You're not pulling that draw at all. Like, it's prime example when the 15 and under male soccer team beat the USA women's team in soccer, like 7-0. 15-year-olds and under beat grown women. Like, imagine if the WNBA players played NBA players, excuse me, or even played high school players. It would be a complete demolishment. So it's not about making revenue share and trying to compare yourselves to men. It's realizing and being self-aware of what you're actually bringing to the table, looking at those numbers, those stats, those views, the viewership, ratings. You have to look at that. You can't just be like, the NBA is making this much money, other sports are making this much money. They have these different contracts. You have to negotiate on what you are providing. And that's why you're not getting what you think you should get, because everyone else has actual common sense and awareness and a business mind to not be giving you ladies millions of dollars that will actually tank the WNBA for good. So come to a conclusion. You have to be self-aware of what you are and what is actually being provided as far as collateral when you're asking for higher pay. Let's get back into it.
But it's not all they want. They also want private flights for every team all year, professionalism standards across the league. For example, they don't want to practice at like a community rec center, which I thought was BS. Till I saw this Connecticut Sun thing where they got kicked off their own court for a 2-year-old's birthday party. Seriously. And it was during the playoffs. That actually happened. They also want expanded rosters and benefits, but the owners say, no. Yes, we'll give you more money, but not rev share like the NBA. In fact, they offered increases from a max of $250K to $1.3 million, average salary from $120K to $530K, and minimum from $66K to $250,000 throughout the league, which sounds good. But players say, no, in fact, we hate that so much, we're going on strike if you don't give us NBA-style rev share.
Come on, man. Come on, ladies. Now, that's a lot of money. They wanted to go from, $250K to $1.3 million? Y'all not making that much money. What? Like, where is the common sense? Where's the common sense? Private flights everywhere? Do you know how much private flights are? Every team, private flights. Like, this is just so ridiculous. And this is why everybody laughs and jokes about the WNBA, because the wants and needs are just not monetarily feasible to keep a business running. I mean, it's a reason why women have astronomical amounts of businesses being started, but men have the higher amount of revenue being made with businesses. Because this girl math ain't mathing. It ain't mathing. Like, at a certain point, you got to realize men are the logical ones and women are the emotional ones. So maybe you want to listen and figure out a way to make steps towards where you want to be, because you can't just project yourself, catapult yourselves to where you think you deserve to be. Because if we go ahead and do that, if the max being 1.3 mil, and was that the max or was that the average? I can't remember. Whatever it was, it's an exponential growth that is not conducive towards having a healthy and progressive business model that would keep your business open.
We see that this league's going to keep growing while you're trying to stick us down here at this fixed money. And we don't care that you lost money on the WNBA all those years. That was your decision. You wanted to start a WNBA league, okay? That's on you. And now we're here, so we want to cut. And even Caitlyn Clark said, this is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, so we are going to fight for everything we deserve. She also said, at the same time, we do need to play basketball, because Caitlyn knows a strike could kill the whole thing. Just look at baseball in 1994. MLB was America's #1 sport. They go on strike in 94, got passed up by the NFL and NBA, and have never come back. And that was the #1 sport. What do you think happens with the WNBA? All this momentum would be crushed and probably never come back. But this guy, David Sampson, perfectly outlines what happens next. See, he ran MLB teams for 20 years, so he knows all about negotiations. He was asked, what happens if the players don't budge and they don't move on their demands?
Maybe the end of the WNBA. The players will move. The biggest thing they did wrong, they said this is their moment. And so they've put a lot of pressure on themselves. They put themselves in a corner where they feel like they have to get it, or it's like a major loss. And so if you had any ability to invest and you wanted to start a league to compete with the WNBA, this is the time. That could be the end of the WNBA.
Oh, and it turns out there are several women's leagues who see this coming. A 3-on-3 league called Unrivaled, a 5-on-5 called Project B, have all signed dozens of the top WNBA players already. And these leagues are promising them big paydays and rev share to the players. But that would obviously be a huge step back, because those leagues don't have the momentum or the popularity of the WNBA. And it would split up all the players. Like, can you imagine if the NBA fell apart? Yeah, we'd all still watch the players, but if all the players were split among 2 leagues, it would suck. So as crazy as it sounded, we may actually see these players go on strike, and the W might take a hit it cannot come back from. But there is plenty of drama going on in the NBA right now as well.
What's up, man? What's up, guys? Sorry. I'm going to go ahead and cut that video right there. If you want to check it out, I'm going to leave the link for that video down in the description. Go ahead and check his channel out. He does have a lot of good videos as well besides that WNBA video. But bottom line, Caitlyn Clark was right. My girl CC was right. This is a time to capitalize. It's not a time to go on strike. You've had the best, most lucrative year in WNBA history, and we're talking about going on strike after 1 year because you want salary increases? How entitled and how babyish can you sound? 1 year? Can we get a string of years? Can we get a series of years to show improvement, some standing, some lasting power? Can we get something? Not 1 year. That's not how business works. You don't just have a good year and then all of a sudden everybody gets 200% increase in salary. That's how you go out of business. And you should already be out of business after 3 decades of not making any money. But thank you to the NBA for keeping you ladies with a job. Listen to your GOAT, Caitlyn Clark. Keep fumbling her name. Caitlyn Clark, Miss CC. Play ball. Get your incentives. Because right now, these other leagues are poaching your players. And you could be on the verge of the WNBA dissolving. Go ahead and make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave your 2 cents down in the comment section so we can have a conversation. Until next time, guys, stay elevated. This is Jamin. This is Not Too Casual. Peace.